Hi, this is a video all about how to add data to the map. So the general idea of this is that the main map has all these different layers that you can turn on and off with the map layer widget on the left, and that the lens is you're deep diving into one category specifically at a time. But you could add data to any of these maps. And then the only difference between the main map and the everything map is at the moment the things that are causing the main map to load slowly have gone and been put into the everything map. So in this case, the only layer that's actually in the everything map that isn't in the main map is the Midlothian local development plan. But say that you were looking at that under the everything map or under this plan section, and you're like, actually, I really want that to be in the main map. This is how you could add that data. But it's not just adding data from these other lenses and that we have put together in the climate action map. You can add data from anything that's on ArcGIS Online through this Add Data button. So if you click here, that's just a layer that I've been previously working with, but you should see from this starting position of this click to add data. So if we click there, and now it lets you look through all of ArcGIS Online or the Living Atlas, which is like a more curated version. So you'll get more like authoritative sources on the Living Atlas versus ArcGIS Online is truly anything that anyone has publicly put up on ArcGIS Online. And then we have some predefined categories here. So these are the categories that we've set. So here, if you click on the ECCI, this will show you all the layers that have been uploaded through the Edinburgh Climate Change Institute organization. So if you wanted to find a layer that way, you can again use the search function here. So you could search for things related to domestic layers, or you can use these predefined searches. So let me see anything associated with networks or plans and developments. So here, this is where we'll see that Midlothian local development plan. So if I really wanted that to be on this main map, I can go ahead and click done. And you would think done means done and it should be on the map now, except for done isn't actually done because you still have to do the action of adding it to the map. So that's these 4 circles here. So we click here and then click add to the map. That will then add it to the map. And with the Midlothian local development plan, this will just take a second to load. This is why it's not on the main map to begin with, is because it's actually a very large layer. But that's loaded in fairly okay this time, but you can see it's here and it appears at the top. So it's not in any of our nested little groups. And you can still use all of the things we've learned about the map layer widget functionality to control the layer here. And you can see that this one has 53 sublayers, which is why it takes a long time to load in. And if you wanted to get to an individual one, you don't have to go about turning them off all one at a time. The functionality here of turning off all layers will affect that layer even though you've just newly added it to the map. So if I want to say see only the conservation areas, I can now do that, and that's an easier way rather than having to individually turn off all the other layers. But that's one of the maps that we've put together. Again, the really exciting thing is being able to add anything from ArcGIS Online through this Add Data button. So if we go to ArcGIS Online, and then again, there's a search function, so we can just type in Edinburgh, and we can see what is there with Edinburgh. Like, what are the city attractions? We can click on that, and then we'll see our little Done button. But again, done doesn't mean done, and so then we go Add to Map. I haven't actually turned this one on, so I'm also curious to see what are the city attractions. So we have buildings and gardens and museums and viewpoints, and so you could use this to see and combine that with any of these existing. So we could answer the question of are city attractions inside the heat network zones? So we could turn on those OHEAS heat network zones. And we can see that some of them are, some of them aren't. You can see that you can have all kinds of questions that come out when you can add all types of data to your map. And if you want to remove them, I'm pretty sure that the trash can buttons here don't actually work. So you can see that they're still here. I mean, you can turn them off, but if you're finding this to just be a bit cluttered, these aren't permanently added to the map. So if you just refresh and reload the map, these will go away. You can also add things by URL. So if you wanted to add particularly a web map service, So if you've watched one of the other videos about the viewing details, you'll see that there was that layer that was added through a web map server. And you could add that through a URL here as well as upload your own files. So if there's data that you want to see combined in the big map, you can do that here. So there's quite a lot of power and functionality to this little add data button.